All right. So I'm Bryan Jenkins. I'm part of the RunSignUp team today. So today's format is going to be a little bit different than some of the other webinars that we've done. It's going to be more quick hitters, trying to help you become a little bit more efficient utilizing some of the power that RunSignUp can bring to you, and hopefully, in the end of the day, saving you some time, maybe showing you some features and allowing you to do some things that you weren't sure about ahead of time. So the format of these is going to be, I'm going to kind of jump through the system quite a bit. This is definitely meant for advanced users. If you're a beginner, it might be a bit overwhelming. We will be following up this presentation with an email to all users with a recording of this video, as well as some links to describe some of the features that I'm going over in a bit more detail. So again, if you're a little overwhelmed by this, know that we're sending an email afterwards, and this is recorded. If you do have questions, please submit them. What I do is I'll go through as many of the questions as I can at the end and try to address anything that I can after I've gone through the presentation. So jumping right into this, what I'm going to do is start with my favorite tool, which is on the left-hand side, is our search box. So the search box is a huge time saver because, as we know, there's lots and lots of features in RunSignUp, but sometimes we're not really sure where they are. So what if I don't know today where coupons is? I've forgotten. I can type in coupons, and it's going to pull up any pages tied to coupons. So it's going to try to be helpful in finding pages that I'm looking for. Another one that's a great example is paper entry. Let's say I'm looking for paper entry. So if I type that in, you can see it takes me right to participants import. And again, that's where you could go in and type in entries. So if you don't remember anything from this presentation but the search box, likely that will make you quite a bit more efficient. So another tool that I really like is I want to show you guys, and I just want to make sure I've got someone's name here. Yep. So what we're going to do is the top right-hand corner here, to search by name, bib, and email, I'm going to type in Matt. So it's going to search all the Matt. You can see Matt has participated a whole bunch of times, but we could get maybe more granular and type in Matthew Sinclair. And the goal of this is that sometimes we get emails from participants that don't tell us, necessarily who they are, because you could search by email, etc. You can then find their record, maybe find some more information, edit or manage their record. So it's a really, really quick way when you don't have a lot of information. You don't have to drill down into participants and view participants. You can just go to the top search bar, quickly search for someone, and maybe try to more quickly handle that issue for that participant. So moving right along, the next tool that I like, we've covered this in our email marketing, but I want to cover it again, is our automated email, is enabling the incomplete registration. So the purpose of this is I start registering, I didn't finish it, and now you can automatically send an email out to those participants who abandoned their cart, because that's what they call it in the e-commerce world. And the system will take care of it automatically. Once you turn it on, you can either customize it with some information to remind people about your raise. The other automated email that I really like is this price increase email. So you can turn this on. We know when you're having price adjustments, and when those price adjustments are occurring, you can turn this on and let participants know, hey, there's an upcoming price change. If you've worked with us previously, we even can automatically send an email to your previous participants. We'll send them a slightly different email, which is the price is about to go up, be sure to register. Again, on both of these, you can customize these. If you haven't worked with us previously, but you'd like to utilize this, you could upload a custom list and then send an email to that custom list. So this is just trying to take maybe one of these tasks, these marketing tasks, off your plate. It also is important to note that we do have email reports. So these email reports are kind of summarizing some of the things that are going on, so you can check out your email statistics. So, if there's been any email sent, I don't know if this rate has sent any emails recently. I don't think so. So the purpose of this is to show you any open rates or close rates, etc. for emails. You can check out all the different reports that we have available to you, including if anyone unsubscribed accidentally, we do have the ability now to resubscribe participants. This is a great thing to know. More and more people are using the email system. So if someone's saying they're not getting the emails, the first thing that you want to do is go to email marketing and email reports and check out where these email reports are, and then maybe seeing if someone's on a bounce report or a spam report or something like that, or if they unsubscribed accidentally, you can resubscribe them to your email and let them keep getting those notifications. One of the other things that I get a lot of questions about is, do you offer custom reports? Yeah, absolutely. So you can go in and go to participants, view participants, and you can start to build a custom view. So in the beginning when we show you this, there's some very basic information that we're showing you here. You can get much more granular and build yourself a custom report. So let's say I don't want registration ID, let's say I don't want age, and I don't want registration date, but I do want, let's say, phone number and date of birth, and I want to know some additional questions like these custom questions. So I can customize that information, and then once I customize this, I can save this report. I can give this report a name, and once I give it a name, I now have the ability to check out my save reports, and I can see the Bryan report and the test report here, and that's automatically going to customize that information. I also can even make a default view that when I log into this race, this is my default view. One other neat thing that you can do is, let's say you need to give access to a t-shirt report to your t-shirt vendor. You can actually go in here, and what I've done is I've gone to race and then secure access info sharing, and I'm going to set up save reports, and I can plug in an email address and a first name and last name and give them access to this Bryan report. And what that's going to do is the system's going to send this person an email with a link to this report. And this report is dynamic, meaning let's say I have 10 people signed up today, I've got 20 people signed up tomorrow. That report's going to be updated for a total of 30 people in my report. So it's truly dynamic. It's a great resource to have if you have those situations where you don't need to necessarily give them access to your race, but you do need to give them access to specific reports or data. So one of the other sections within our system that I think doesn't get quite as much attention or love is our financial section. So let me pull up a race here. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out the Scott Coffee race here, which is a race that our founder, Bob Bickle, is associated with. And on this section, many people have been here, but there is a particular report in here that I like because it's very, very easy to have a conversation with your board or other race members as to how your race is doing, and it has one eye-opening detail in here. So under Financial Summary, we're going to go to View Detailed Summary. And in this View Detailed Summary, what we're looking for is a very, very basic overview of what's going on in our race. So we can look at how much money has been collected online. We can look at processing fees. And the one that I like the best on here, because it's very, very quick and easy to see, is coupons. So the way we're outlining coupons is that we have spent $1,600 in a little over $1,600 in coupon codes out to various participants. And this is typically fairly eye-opening. And that's why I like this one, because I'm personally not an accountant, but I do understand the basics of what's going on in this report, and many other non-accountant type people are going to really like this report. It's very easy to get to. You can download it into Excel and share it with your other team members so that they can see exactly how what's going on with the race. So if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely recommend it. People are always shocked by how much they've given away in coupons. Some races don't do them, but many races do, and it is somewhat shocking as to how much you've given away. So moving on now to one of the probably more utilized parts of our system, but there are some neat little tricks and tips in here, is our giveaway reporting. So giveaways is, t-shirts is typically what it is, but you can do hoodies or et cetera. It's something that's given to the participants in registration path. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Race and then Giveaways and Add-ons, and we're going to click on Giveaways. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to click Action, and then we're going to check out our quantity projection. And the purpose of this is to show us, and we're going to change gears here, what it does is it visualizes to us our t-shirt sizes and gives us a breakdown chart beneath there. So the all events is that all the different distances that we're offering, it's aggregating the t-shirt sizes together and giving us quantity breakdown as well as male-female breakdowns. If we were selling them for any extra fees, it gives us the extra fee. If we keep going down, we can actually get more specific into how many t-shirts do we have for the 8K, how many do we have for the relay race, and how many do we have for the 1 mile run and the wheelchair race. Now, at the very bottom here is one of the really neat tools that we have, and this is essentially an Excel projection tool. So if we think that next year, while we're having a discussion with our t-shirt vendor, that we're going to hit 110% of our goal, it will then take our sizes and update the projected quantities to 98, 238. So it's kind of adjusting these numbers based off the growth. If we are projecting a little lower, we could change that to 90%. And again, it gives us a pretty good estimate based off historical data as to how our t-shirt order should work. So, from there, what we can do is we're going to move on to giveaway inventories. So under race and then giveaways and add-ons, we're going to click on giveaways. And we're going to click the actions button and we're going to go to inventories. And so from here, what we can do is we can set up a couple different types of inventory. The first thing is we could say we're only offering a shirt to the first 100 participants for all events. So some events do this and just say, hey, the first 100 people get a shirt, and that's it. Many, especially with the cost of t-shirts getting more expensive, are doing this. They're saying we're going to order 70 extra smalls. We're going to order 85 smalls, etc. You can set this up on a per size basis across one race or multiple races, and it will truly manage your inventory for you. So what it allows you to do is, so if someone finally selects the 70th extra small, that extra small is going to be hidden from the registration path. It's going to say it's sold out. They cannot select that anymore. And it also reflects your participant management. So if a participant is trying to manage their registration and their t-shirt size, they would not be able to select that extra small. That inventory was sold out. So it's a great feature to be aware of. If you have any trouble with this one, sometimes people do right at the beginning, definitely reach out to your account manager and they'll help walk you through it because it's a great little tool to use. The next one I wanted to go over is the loyalty program. So our loyalty program is getting more and more used for our larger races. And the reason that it's getting used for our larger races is that, as we all know, we like being recognized as being a best customer. And that's where this priority list comes into play. So what it allows you to do is to build a list of people. That list of people can be anything you would like. And you can import a list from a CSV. You can type people in, whatever you would like to do. And the way I got to that loyalty program was I used the search box. But if you didn't want to use that search box, you can click on race, registration, and loyalty program. And so what the concept behind this is that many people will attempt to try to incentivize people to register for their race early. Well, who's the best person to register for your race early? Likely someone who has participated previously. So what we've seen some races do is set up a loyalty list for people who have participated over the past 2 or 3 years, and you can set anything that you would like up. You can then limit registration only to the loyalty program, and those participants that are on the list are the only people to register. Now, we have expanded that program to allow you to even allow a participant a buddy. So what that means is that a buddy has the ability to be registered with someone on the loyalty list. So if I'm on the loyalty list and I wanted to sign up Bob, I would be allowed to sign up one buddy if you put in the one buddy. And you can say, hey, registration opens for the loyalty list on November 1st and expires on November 2nd and limiting that to a specific group of people. So it does have some downsides in that if someone's, let's say their name is Jeff, and last year they registered as Jeffrey, their name is being recognized as Jeffrey, you may need to go in and edit their name to get them on the list. So this one I expect we might have some questions. I might jump back into this one in the questions section, or some people may have some additional questions on that, but I do want to keep moving on to some of the other cool items that I had on my list to share with you guys. And again, I'm going to jump into the questions at the end. So the next one is reserved entries. And so reserved entries is something that I really like to use. I call it my get out of jail free card. And the concept of the reserved entry is that you can enter a specific person or upload a CSV or set up a multiple use reserved entry. And there's lots of different use cases. You could say your race is sold out and you want to let people in exceeding the cap. You want to let people in at a specific price. And a great example of that, let's say teachers get in for $15 for your race and you don't want a coupon code because that could cause you issues. You could set up a multi-use list, or if they gave you a list of teachers, you could upload a bunch of single-use reserved entries from a CSV and have a specific set of people who are getting these reserved entries. So going over the features here, you can set up when the reserved entry starts, when it ends. Do you allow people to register outside of normal registration dates? How many registrations are you allowing? So if you're uploading a list, you would limit that to maybe 1 registration or 4 registrations. And then the event-specific registration limit. And this is where you can say, hey, you're only allowed to register for the 8K. And then where it gets neat is you can actually set specific pricing like $15 or $0. So it's an extremely flexible tool that can be used similarly to coupon codes, but got a little bit different restrictions. And the net result is either you get a URL, if it's a multiple use reserved entry that you can share with that group, or the single use reserved entry participants are getting an email from RunSignUp with their unique URL. So instead of some code or something like that, they have a unique URL that they're going to click on and register through, and these rules are going to be applied to them. So reserved entries is a great tool. Again, if you have some trouble with this one, definitely reach out to your account manager because we know how powerful this tool can be for you. The next one is a little bit more into the marketing realm and Google Analytics. So a couple things here is that RunSignUp has Google Analytics built into your page, and this is specific to your RunSignUp page. You can get a report over the past 30 days, or you can set a custom date range. The larger date range that you set, the longer the report's going to take. It's going to tell you where your traffic's coming from. You can even, specify the pages of where traffic's coming from. We also have e-commerce data. So you can run a report to figure out where your sales are coming from. But again, this is specific to your RunSignUp URL. So sometimes it's going to list your website as the primary traffic or sales source because people are going to your website before coming to us. So if you wanted to do a little bit more with this, you can actually set up your own. If you have a Google Analytics account for your website, you can actually plug this into RunSignUp, and we will be able to capture this information and pass it back to your main Google Analytics account so you can track your traffic. The next tool, I'm seeing more people use this, which makes me happy because I think it's a great tool. So the first thing is that let's check out, we're going to go to race, and then race page and custom content and display. So these are custom sections that have been added into the RunSignUp system. And if you're wondering how you add custom sections, under race page, you're going to go to custom pages, and we'll just take a quick look at that. You can see the content that we've added into this page. So I'm going to go back to the display section because this is where it's really neat. You can now see that these custom content sections are built into it, and you have different options here. So you can display it on the race page, you can display it as a sub-menu, you can display it as a new menu option, you can display it only in the confirmation email. So this allows you to kind of set where you want this particular content to appear. So let's take a look at that. So on the page here, we can actually see Facebook, which is a piece of custom content, and this is on the navigation. So if I go back and look, we've got one that's awards, and that's under race info. So if I go back to the page, I click on race info, I can see that awards is a sub-menu under race info. So what this allows you to do is decide what content and where is appearing. And that's why I like about it so much, is that you guys have tons and tons of content that you may want to share or display, and giving you that ability to decide where it lives is a really powerful tool. And I would recommend, if you've got information that you're trying to get out to participants, figure out where you'd like to lay it out, and there's this easy custom content display here to decide where that's going to live. So the next one is very, very interesting. So we're going to go to reports and then marketing reports. And we've got two things in here that I want to highlight. One is repeat participants. So repeat participants is a really interesting report. So what it's telling us is who has done your race the most number of times. So Joseph Halen has done this race 7 times. Francis Cohn has done it 6 times, which is great. You can recognize or incentivize or do something if you know who your best customers are, which is just great. And there's different ways to match first name, last name, date of birth, gender, first name, last name, first name, last name. You also can update the report to show people who have not registered for this year. So you can maybe target these people slightly differently. So it's a great little report to have. You can download this into CSV. It could be something that you use in your marketing campaigns, on Facebook, et cetera, because you know that these are your best customers who have or have not participated or registered this year. The next one is participant heat maps. So participant heat maps is a great tool. So what it is it allows you to see on a map here, where people are coming from for your race. And in this case, you can pretty well see it's just outside of Philadelphia. The race is based out of Moorestown, New Jersey, where RunSignUp is headquartered, so it's a pretty obvious place to know, where people are coming from. But what I particularly like about this report is that you can actually download this into CSV, and it will give you your top zip code. So when you're talking to sponsors, if you're looking at advertising platforms, this is going to tell you where your best participants are coming from and what zip codes that you would target. So this data, the map, is kind of neat as eye candy, but what's really neat is, having this zip code data and being able to use it for targeting purposes or marketing or sponsorship. The next one that I wanted to show you guys is miscellaneous settings. So I'm going to search miscellaneous settings. I'm using that search box that we talked about a little bit earlier. So in miscellaneous settings, there is a lot of things that you can do in here, and they just don't have a great place to live. So I'm not going to go over all the items on this page. The most common one that participants you're going to want to use is the very top one, which is you can disable the Find a Participant page because participants are complaining that they do not want their participant information showing up on the RunSignUp page. The Find a Participant page is still there, but they must put in the exact name, or you have to put in the name and date of birth to match the information to confirm that this person's registered. But there are other settings in here. Feel free to check those out. Some of them do have some kind of negative connotations and showing race CSV downloads in military time and things like that. So be careful at turning on and off these settings, but they are here to help you out. So the next one is a brand new feature that I want to share with you. So under race and then race page, under race and then registration, we have event display option. So what I wanted to show you guys is kind of what this looks like. So in this page here, it allows you to set up so you can add a custom label and description that highlights a particular event. So if you have like a half marathon VIP kit or something like that, you can kind of build it, put an image here, explain what's included in here, and try to push people towards this particular option. So if we look here, we could put a description here, a name here, we can upload an image, and we can put an event registration description here so that we can highlight the 8K as our primary event that we're trying to sell. So the goal of this is to push a participant's eye towards a particular event within your race. If you only have one event, I don't think that that makes sense. It could be slightly helpful in that it kind of helps upsell people to understand, like, this is what's included in your registration. But generally speaking, this would be like you've got maybe a VIP package or something that's more inclusive than another. So we're typically seeing this, what we call non-traditional races are using this because they have a VIP package, which includes a custom shirt or custom bibs and extra items that wouldn't be included in standard registration. The next one is under race and then notifications, we have email customization. And what this allows you to do is to upload an image that will show up at the top of your email. You can see here the existing email banner. You could also decide to use your race theme banner. And then you have a bunch of different options here as to what emails that you want this to show up on or not to show up on, and you can update those settings. And you can even, not have the RunSignUp logo show up at the top of the emails, or only, and this is the option that Bob has selected, only show up on specific emails. So there's some great options here in terms of branding to get that initial confirmation email over to the participant with the particular branding that you want to have. So those are the items that I wanted to go to. I expected quite a number of questions, so I'm going to jump right into the questions now and see if I can check some of those out. So the first question that we have is registration coupons on the financial summary only shows redeemed only. Yeah, so the question is that in the financial summary section that I showed a bit earlier, do we have this detailed summary that I showed, is this only showing redeemed coupons? And the answer is yes. So redeemed coupons are the only coupons that are showing up. So I'd like to give it another minute or two to see if anyone else has any additional questions. I've got one other thing, because I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to get to it. I'm going to, keep letting people, if they want to submit a question, give them a couple minutes to submit some more questions. But the only other thing that I did want to highlight here, we do have event insurance now, and I think that this label might be a little mislabeled. This is actually participant insurance. So if you wanted to offer this, this allows participants at checkout to buy an insurance against their fee. My opinion is that entry fees over $60 or $70 are their right price point for this. So it charges either a minimum fee or a percentage based off the amount of the registration. This allows participants to select this at checkout, and then if they get injured, or if you select their registration protector with required to work, or if they have to go to work, they can get their money back through Allianz, our insurance provider. So this allows you to keep the entry fee that the participant goes through Allianz to get a refund. So yeah, now we've got a few more questions rolling in here. So the first question is on multiple event registration option. Will it handle USAT one-day memberships across events? So the question is that multiple event registration options is USAT one-day memberships across events. The only time that USAT one-day memberships apply across multiple events is if it's on the same weekend. If the events are not on the same weekend, it does not apply. If you're trying to get people to sign up for a series, they have to buy another one-day membership for each race within the series. So the next question we have is this going to be recorded? Absolutely. Everyone that signed up for this is going to get an email with a recording of this webinar, so definitely feel like that. It's going to be coming to you, as well as some links with some descriptions of some of the items that I've covered today. So the next question is that any progress on allowing multiple entries in one transaction on race day is on our list to do. We're kind of knocking out things as we've knocked out a bunch of things on the sign-up app, and I would expect hopefully in the next month or two that we'll knock out multiple registrations at the sign-up app. One of the other questions is about race website options. We're going to, I actually have a webinar for this user on our race website. It's probably a much better description than what I can do in a short period of time. So we'll make sure that we get you the webinar and reach out to you about our race website option. So someone asked for some additional questions on the event registration insurance. We share with the race director 20% of the insurance fee. So let's just use easy numbers for me. Let's just say the insurance fee was $10. We give you 20% of that insurance fee back because the insurance company shares this fee with us. We share this with you for any insurance policy purchased in registration pass. We get 20% of that back. So let's see, just kind of waiting. So one of the questions is how open are you to implementing suggestions that race directors are open to seeing on the page, and what's the process for that? So we are definitely open to race directors' suggestions, and many of the things that you've seen are coming from race directors. We may not always be able to implement a suggestion because it could negatively impact another user, but most of the time we try to do our best to implement things. Sometimes the timeline may be very quick. Sometimes the timeline may be a couple months, just depending on the complexity of their request. But yeah, we definitely take feedback from users, and typically what you would want to do is reach out to your account manager, have a discussion about what you're looking to accomplish. We may have that feature already, so we'd love to discuss with you what you're trying to accomplish and see if we can help you with that already. Just waiting maybe a couple more minutes to see if there's some additional questions that come in. So I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. So I appreciate everyone attending. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this advanced user one and be looking for an email from us hopefully by the end of the day with a recording of this video, as well as a link to the video and getting this information out to you here shortly. So thank you for attending RunSignUp's advanced user workshop, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar shortly. Thank you.